Robert, Spanish. About 1,200 videos and hundreds of daily lives through various channels, mainly Despejando Enigmas and Revelación Cósmica Semillas Estelares. Gosia, Spanish. About 600 videos plus lives, channel Agencia Cósmica. Gosia, English. About 500 videos plus lives, channel Cosmic Agency. About 70 interviews, mostly English, but also in Spanish and Polish. Over 1,700 PDFs of transcript translations uploaded to the website in various languages. Zael and Arien of Era. About 30 videos in English and 30 in Spanish. Channel Zael. And Maris Varu. Almost 200 videos in English, 200 in Spanish, all made in 1 year and few months. Channel Zvaru Oficial. What is all this though? Why so much noise? What's with all this information? Where did it all come from? Extraterrestrial contact? To understand the answers to these questions, I invite you to look at how it all started and the events that unraveled along the way. Join us. This is Taygetan Pleiadian Extraterrestrial Contact. Journey so far. Beginnings. Although I could argue that the journey involving our contact with the team of the Taygetan Pleiadian heavy cruiser Toleka had started off Earth, before my walk-in incarnation as Gosia in 2017, and with me and also Robert, Zvaru and others planning this way before, I will focus only on the portion of the contact journey since it started for our terrestrial avatars. That is, Robert and Gosia. And I stress, in a very big summary, from my perspective, and without going into the details of what was happening on Toleka itself throughout the years, as it was always a lot, but not related to the public contact itself. It all began with us both, Robert and I, having always strongly desired an extraterrestrial contact, in any way it wanted to reveal itself. The more direct, the better. We each had studied the metaphysical and the UFO literature for years, attended lectures and workshops, and were, for the most part, your regular folk seeking to know more about cosmic reality. The way I see it, there was nothing extraordinary about either of us, apart from, speaking for myself, an unidentifiable urge to help break souls out of their self-imposed or not limitations of the 3D matrix. I always knew there was so much more in each one of us, but dimmed and disempowered by the manipulations of the system on Earth. My heart wanted people around me to break free, but I didn't know how. In 2011, I followed an inner calling to arrive in Barcelona, Spain, where I met Robert for the first time and opened a metaphysical boutique called Agencia Cósmica. The way I felt it, It was a place where I could mediate the higher planes and earthly ones, a sort of connecting ground between worlds. I decorated it as the interior of the spaceship, as if it landed in the middle of Barcelona. How little did I know that one day my little cosmic agency project would truly be a mediating place, this time directly between terrestrial and stellar humans. After I closed my boutique in 2013, Robert and I went into real estate together. And when this didn't go as planned either, I started teaching English in Barcelona school. As a hobby, Robert opened a YouTube channel where he started sharing information coming from Corey Goode, and I opened mine with the intention of making amateur interviews with interesting people in the field. To my surprise, I got the opportunity to interview some of the bigger characters in the UFO world, and I was happy. Each year in summer, Robert and I went overnight camping to the mountain near Barcelona, from where we called out to benevolent extraterrestrial groups. I also specifically remember sending out mental messages towards any positive stellar being to use me, my potential and characteristics for the higher purpose. Any purpose to do with helping to eradicate the Matrix. I walked around Barcelona streets feeling useless and calling out to be used. All this somewhere between 2013 and 2017. And used I was, although obviously that's not the correct term. As Gosia, I simply offered my vehicle to be of service. And so it happened. As my Taygetan team informed me afterwards, myself as I am now, a Taygetan woman in the orbit of the Earth, in August 2017, on the day of my birthday, I walked into this terrestrial avatar to become Gosia. And this is where pretty much this adventure began. Taygetans had been in contact with a great number of people before meeting us, so for them, the journey with humans began much earlier. But this video is where it begins with us. In October 2017, a ufology congress in Barcelona had Corey Goode as one of the speakers. And when I found out, I told Robert to ask the organizers to let him in, since, at the time, Robert was an avid fan of Corey Goode and making a lot of videos with his information, already having a lot of subscribers. And so it happened. He got to not only meet Corey, but also interview him for his channel, which made his day. I also joined in one of the days of the Congress, but I couldn't assist every day, as I had a teaching job. It was on one of those days when I wasn't present that Robert met a person we always referred to as the older lady, who at the time had a contact with what we now know as our Toleka crew. At the time, it was Svaru of Erra who the older lady was in contact with. When her and Robert met at the Congress, she told him about her experience and it piqued his interest. She explained it was a crew of thousands at the time of young Taygetan Pleiadians present near Earth in starships, communicating with humans on Earth through the internet. They began communicating more, and one day, in December 2017, the older lady introduced Robert to Svaru. I was also in touch with the elder lady at the time, and I too began my first ever written conversation with the off-planet person. It was Svaru of Erra, and the day was 17th December 2017. I won't go into the details of everything that went on and all the feelings that engulfed me in those first weeks and months of our interaction. You can see more of that in my other video called Extraterrestrial Contact: How Does It Affect Me? All I can say, my life has changed, and never to go back to how it was before. I could simply not believe what was happening, and yet there it was. Regular communication with the stellar person began, and this is how Svaru of Erra, a Taygetan Pleiadian young woman on board starship Toleka in the orbit of the Earth, quickly became my closest friend. The first months we communicated, it was purely personal, even though Svaru was also going into more universal topics. And this is here when we realized that this information should be shared with the world. It couldn't just be given to us in private. What a waste of stellar knowledge we felt. Svaru was reluctant at first, but quickly became passionate about the idea as well. This is when we, especially Robert, also started talking to Anneka of Temer, which became our good friend as well. In the beginning, she was only present as a sort of a manager of our chats with Svaru, but shortly grew into her own to share information as well, and she was as good at it as Svaru of Erra, although the two had different personalities. Svaru was more nostalgic and serious, and Anneka witty, with sense of humor and upbeat. Around May 2018, as a group, we finally decided to share the information. We didn't know how it was going to be accepted, but rather than apprehensive, we felt super excited. We made the announcement together with Robert, and shortly afterwards, we started sharing our conversations and topics. Robert in his main channel Despejando Enigmas, and myself in the Spanish channel Agencia Cósmica and the English one Cosmic Agency. At the time, we both talked to Svaru separately, so we had different material and different system to share the information. Svaru never imposed on us what and how she wanted us to go about it, so both of us simply had to figure out how to do it best on our own, both with our own unique personal methodology and still amateur knowledge of video making. To our contentment, the information was welcome and accepted by the large part of the community. Our audience started to grow, and Svaru of Erra quickly became the public sweetheart and continues to be so for many. Their first love, the pioneer. Her passion, empathy towards the humans, and arduous fighting spirit conquered the hearts of many. And until now, she lives on in all of us, especially those who have been with us since the beginning. Anneka of Temer, who was another Taygetan dedicated to sharing a lot throughout the years, also captured the public as she became more and more involved with the project. Her participation and engagement reaching its peak during the times of pandemic. More about it later on. We also had the cherished opportunity to talk to and share the information from the Taygetan man, the pilot, Dor Kalel, as well as Naishara, Toleka's second-in-command, and even Alalim Alexandra I, Taygetan queen herself. And we also had the pleasure of occasional personal chats with other Toleka crew members, such as Ragel, Kila, Zach, Gabriel, and others. September 2018. In September 2018, as we saw our community grow, we decided to organize a casual get-together so people who knew our work could meet and exchange impressions. We set the time and date in Barcelona, where we both lived, and planned to find a nice cafe in the area where we could chat. To our surprise, there were about 150 people when we got to the place, and as we didn't know where to go or what to do with that amount of people, we simply gathered on a green perch among the trees and stood there answering questions. It was a first public reunion of this kind, so it was quite intense, but everyone was very supportive and friendly. Perhaps we even had an extraterrestrial visitor? It was also around that time that, with the inspiration of Svaru, I opened the channel with the Spanish name LLAMADA desde el planeta Tierra, Call from the planet Earth, operational until now and managed by Sirona as delegated by me, where the videos are uploaded in different languages of individual members of our community expressing themselves, addressing Galactic Federation, the Cabal, other ET races, whatever the need be at the time. As of now, there are around 920 video appeals published. March 2019. As we continued the work of publishing the videos with Svaru and Aneka, with some breaks in communication, as it can get more or less frequent depending on many events happening in space and in Toleka, my English channel Cosmic Agency caught the attention of an ex-NASA engineer, Dale Harder. He contacted me and we started communicating, which resulted in me putting Dale in touch with Svaru and Aneka.
First meeting was beyond comprehension, and it makes me very emotional. There are many times when I shed tears over this, and of course the first meeting with about 6 or 7 of the people, and I tell everyone, I says, it's like a room full of doctors, and it's hello doctor, doctor, hello doctor, doctor. And 20 minutes later we're still saying hello.
Introduction.
So it's very formal interactions, but then as things lighten up, and then everybody gets to know one another, and we relax along the way. So the last 2.5 months have absolutely changed my life.
He became an important part of our team, and even though not as active these days due to lower communication availability on the part of our Toleka crew, he still holds a dear spot for me and for this project. Not only because of validating our work as a scientist, but because of his enormous heart and loyalty. BB Dale, Big Brother Dale, we love you. August 2019. In August 2019, we had something new happen in our communication method with the team. Dor Kalel decided to do something brave and rebellious, and he connected with us in audio from his ship flying in the atmosphere of the Earth. And it is when we could hear one of their voices for the very first time. I was quite nervous and didn't know what to say, so used we were to just typing. Kalel's voice was strong, calm, and noble, and he went on to talk to us for a while, even despite technical disturbances in the beginning. He connected this way a few times more, one of which Dale Harder was also present. Unforgettable. September 2019. In 2019, Robert and I got invited to speak at the Ufology World Congress in Barcelona, the event to which we also invited Dale, who flew all the way from Ohio, USA. Robert and I both gave our first public presentations, which made us super nervous, despite tremendous support from all the people present. In fact, the support was so big that we were offered another spot for the workshop for the following day, this time with the participation of Dale and our new special friend, Jessica. It was a special event, and more historic than anyone would have ever imagined. In fact, most people don't even know why I am even saying this. Those of you who were there might know why. For those with eyes to see, as Mari says. November 2019. First ever live session of questions and answers, and it was Dor Kalel present with us online, answering people's questions from the chat room that were passed on to him, all on the topic of extraterrestrial technology and navigation.
All the UFOs sightings I have seen personally and on videos, the craft always seem to be glowing in their entirety, not just their headlights, like human craft. Why is this? Why does the entire craft light up? The answer is this. This is the answer directly from Kalel today. The craft or the ship is inside a high energy electromagnetic bubble. It superheats the atmosphere to a hot plasma. The color of the glow depends mostly on temperature factors and on the frequency output of the energy bubble.
After this, several other live sessions like this were organized, mainly with Anneka, and later on with Athena Svaru and also Mari Svaru. The sessions are a great opportunity for everyone to see our friends from the orbit answer the questions improvised and spontaneously in real time. Beginning of 2020. Somewhere towards the end of 2019, I got invited to speak at Laughlin, Nevada Mega UFO Conference in March 2020, which I kindly accepted. It was a very special trip, not only because of the trip itself, which I cherished very much, but also because I was to speak to the live American audience, which made me very nervous, as the English-speaking community can get much tougher than the Spanish one. Plus, I didn't have any experience with public speaking apart from the previous Spanish conference. This was a serious event with serious researchers such as Jordan Maxwell, among many others, and I felt like such a novice. Just few years before that, it was me attending the lectures, and here I was about to give a presentation myself. So strange. Luckily, I was not alone, as Dale Harder, my friend and teammate, was also invited. so having him there on the stage with me gave me a positive boost. We both were received very well, and I came back home happy. I couldn't believe how much the information was spreading, and that I was given such an amazing opportunity to participate in this overall project. I am quite in awe until this day, I must say. Having said all this, I must also add that despite how well received we were during both Spanish and American conferences, and despite how much our communities in both languages were growing, the journey from day one was not void of challenges and enemies. The attacks and insults were many, and they continue out there somewhere to this present day. But I purposely avoided going in that direction here, as honestly, it's not something that ever impeded my work, my overall stamina, and the continuous desire to share. Tiring at times, of course, but in the long run, it was always something that, in a strange way, propelled me to work even more. The stronger the resistance towards us was or is, in the end, the stronger I feel to push forward, satisfied of having caused a reaction in the fabric of the established and cushy matrix. We are here to make a dent, and nothing more satisfying than seeing that dent squirm and spit fire. As you all know, the beginning of 2020 was also the time where the worldwide medical situation started to take over everyone's attention and lives. And as much as we didn't like to focus on what was in the media, we had no option but start to share information about the subject. Because, as our Taygetan friends warned us, what was happening was serious. But not due to the medical problem itself, but the supposed resolution to the problem. Svaru and also Anneka, who later took over, began to warn the people about the manipulations taking place and against the papayas. The focus of the topics in our channels had to switch from purely sharing the cosmic knowledge to more controversial but utterly important topics of global urgency. On a more personal note, this is when Robert and I went on a 1-month trip to Finland, where we got stuck due to the global traveling situation, and we decided to stay there, which marked the end of our lives in Barcelona for both. This is when I also started an anti-medical problem campaign with a new YouTube and Odyssey channel, We Are Resistance, where, with the help of 2 other community members, alternative videos were uploaded, all to do with making people aware of the scam and informing them of what was truly happening. Testimonies of awakened doctors, information on papayas, etc., in both English and Spanish. I also had a small booklet designed and translated into many languages, which people could print and distribute in their area. It is still available on our website. I myself spent a lot of time giving them out in the nearby zones in Finland, and I know other members of our Finnish community did the same. There were so many of them distributed that there even appeared a Finnish article in the local online paper warning the people to throw them away in the trash if they pop up. I also received a warning letter from the Finnish Postal Service saying I am obliged to remove them from circulation as they infringe on their design, and additionally pay a fine of several thousand euros. Obviously, the warning was ignored. March 2020. March 2020 was important for many reasons, one of them being our move to Finland, but also because it was then when I met two Finnish followers who traveled 7 hours on the train to meet us, brothers Mikko and Matthias. Long story short, Matthias became my partner, with whom I am until today, and Mikko offered to voluntarily create us a website, something we wanted to have for a while, where we could upload transcripts of our videos. As of today, the website svaru.org has been totally constructed and run by Mikko, and all the transcripts you find there are first edited by me and then revised and uploaded by Matthias. Their help is essential to the project, as I know many of you like to read the information instead of listening. Thank you to both of you. It is also at that time, around March 2020, that something else very extraordinary happened. And that is, little Sofia Svaru, who we call Yazhi, arrived in Toleka from another timeline in which she just recently had lost her mother. Yazhi Svaru was also called Svaru 12, even though none of them like or use these numbers anymore. It's only to understand the chronology of each Svaru in their birth sequence. And the detailed story about that can be seen in the now removed by YouTube video called Svaru and Yazhi, Who Are They? Never Shared Story. At the time of her arrival, Yazhi was only about 7-8 years old. She soon joined the ranks of her colleagues, Svaru of Era 9 and Aneka, and started to share her knowledge from her own unique, much more expanded spiritual perspective. She explained she was coming from the point of her soul evolution that integrated the perspectives of all other Svarus before her, and offering an even wider metaphysical view. Her information has been highly elevated, mystical, incredibly profound, all-encompassing and truly liberating. Her consciousness took us on a journey beyond what we shared by then by Svaru and Aneka. Her point of view included but also expanded on and enriched many of their concepts, and we were all awed. Yazhi has been sharing a vast library of spiritual knowledge on topics such as the Federation, high spiritual perspectives, densities, starship technology, timelines, artificial intelligence, the astral, dark matter, soul, DNA, astrology, medbots, nutrition, ascension, papayas, holistic society, and much more. She also passed on numerous inspiring messages for the starseeds during difficult times of pandemic and beyond. We also had the privilege of having Yazhi on audio a few times, with her voice distorted by filters which she disliked strongly, but we still enjoyed it a lot as we could hear her way of speaking, laughter and intonation. She sounded eager to talk and cute. Unfortunately, the first half of 2020 brought us more events, and it was the slow physical degradation and consequent passing of Svaru of Era. Something that we didn't fully understand at the time, as we were simply explained that Svaru disappeared from the ship, integrated by Yazhi's consciousness, which later was clarified as Svaru's death. Honestly though, as both Robert and I felt that Svaru lived on in Yazhi, Yazhi integrating her memories, We did not necessarily experience Svaru dying as something tragic at the time, as Yazhi was capable of transmitting her essence to us, at the same time also demonstrating clearly unique and cheeky Yazhi-like qualities of her carefree 8-year-old child. We were confused, as were the members of the Toleka crew, but we embraced Yazhi as a new Svaru and her own unique self, all at the same time. We were already used to mysterious happenings and metaphysical twists. We accepted what happened and continued to work on sharing the information, and there was always so much of it. Svaru's legacy. Among countless videos dedicated to information shared by Svaru of Era, there are topics related to the Matrix, science on Earth and in space, ancient history, metaphysics, genetics and biology, artificial intelligence and cloning, free energy, ether, death, ascension, portals, 5G, the Federation, and many more, as well as her famous long articles on mechanics of manifestation, as well as long series of videos on stellar navigation and time travel, and timelines. Svaru was active since December 2017 till March 2020. April 2021. Aneka liked very much appearing live on our shows, and this is when she agreed to the first ever live interaction with the audience of another YouTube channel, Jean-Claude, on Beyond the Mystic. Questions were written in the chat room, and we were passing them to Aneka to answer. Nerve-wracking, but very exciting. June 2021. As the world continued under the shadow of the pandemic, and as we all went on to share as much as we could, another intriguing turn of events happened. And that was a revelation that Athena Svaru, so-called Svaru X, has joined our timeline and was on board the Toleka ship. She, too, started to communicate with us, and sometime later, share her knowledge, which she continues until now, with periods of breaks, as I mentioned in the beginning. Athena Svaru, or Tina, even though connected to other Svarus, is quite different from Svaru of Era or Yazhi. She is happy but calm, in control of her ways, but also very knowledgeable and wise. Firm when she needs to be, and soft and kind when relaxed. She is much cherished by us as well as our community, and has shared a great deal of very important information commenting on many current affairs, such as the Eastern European conflict and others, playlist on Odyssey, history, exopolitics, disclosure, spirituality, starship navigation, nuclear power, as well as answering countless questions from us and the audience. August 2021. Few months after Tina's arrival, and due to the complicated situation as revealed in other videos and in Mari's own video about how she arrived here, Mari Minerva Svaru, or Svaru 11, arrived to our timeline, only around 13 at the time. She was shy and insecure at first, having just lost her mom, and getting to know her new Toleka friends, who quickly became her new family. For the sake of understanding of the sequence, you must keep in mind that all the Svarus, Athena, Mari, and Yazhi, who are currently with us, have all originated in different timelines. So none of them is biologically mother-daughter, although in their own respective timelines they were. You must also know that we have never spoken to Mari Svaru much. Our main contact as of today are Athena and Yazhi, and we only had a few conversations with Mari, some of which I shared in my channel. Mari has always remained as the observant, and slowly embracing new reality with her new friends, learning and adapting to her new life. September 2021. In 2021, Robert and I got invited to speak at the September Finnish UFO seminar. We both gave lectures to the Finnish audience, with Matthias translating. Although tiring, it went really well. But what marked this conference as special was the first ever live online attendance of one of our Toleka friends, Athena Svaru. Questions were passed to us from the audience, which she then answered live, with me reading it out and Matthias and Heikki, the organizer, translating into Finnish. It was the first event ever done this way.
But it was exciting, and it was for the first time in the world that this happened, this live communication and contact with the orbit, with the ship. So, and also you had the opportunity to see this interaction, because you had to help Matthias with the translation.
That was really exciting, and so the audience was. I think there was a full room in the evening. There was lots of spectators to see this event, and we asked that make the short questions because we had only 1.5 hour time, and we had to translate immediately.
Yeah.
So that was a challenge. Matthias was translating first, and then you asked me to come to help, and then I came behind the screen, and I was standing behind you and Matthias, and I have a little bit problems to see the laptop screen. I tried to translate. We had no time for the preparation. Everything had to happen immediately. It was really exciting, and we answered 1.5 hours to audience questions, and it was really unbelievable. It was really unbelievable.
Beginning of 2022. To our surprise, Gaia TV drew intrigued by our information, and we were offered a spot where one season with 12 episodes full of our information was featured, called Galactic Messages, where it can be viewed until now. November 2022. As the year 2022 went on, we continued to share the information, mostly from Yazhi and Athena. Anneka did not participate as eagerly anymore, as unfortunately her body was not able to endure all the rhythm and stress of constant work, especially related to all the negativity dominating Earth Anneka had been reporting on. She became ill, and she got instructed to rest. In November, to our and everyone's greatest pain, we were informed of Anneka's passing, which took us a while to assimilate, and which obviously was quite a shock to our community. It was the second beloved member of Toleka crew that parted ways. Aneka's legacy. Aneka has started sharing information and answering our questions alongside with Svaru of Erra, but she continued to be involved long after Svaru was no longer with us. It was after 2020 that she became vigorously engaged in making people aware of the manipulations behind the world situation, which culminated in her sharing a detailed Taygetan lab report with thorough scientific information regarding the contents of the papayas. All of those videos are not on YouTube and can be found in my Odyssey playlist as well as transcripts on our website. Aneka was active since 2018 to early 2022. Although, since a lot was accumulated, I share videos with her and Svaru's information occasionally until today. December 2022 onwards. Despite still heavy ambience due to Aneka's leaving, it was here when probably the most remarkable chapter of this whole journey began. And it is shy little Mari Svaru deciding to open her own direct YouTube channel, Svaru Oficial, through which to share information written and made directly by her, with her own style and choice of every single topic, where she arduously continues to this very day, with daily videos, one in English, another in Spanish. What a feat! Mari's pioneering efforts marked the beginning of the whole new era of this Taygetan Svarunian contact, which in itself can be also viewed as a whole separate project standing on its own, as Mari's work has nothing to do with the contact with humans, and is designed to be watched by older members of our community, but also by the total newcomers. The topics vary from Matrix and how to escape from it, consciousness, Taygetan technology, paranormal, UFO field, starships, death and afterlife, Federation, Cabal's agendas, astral planes, demons and astral entities, time, extraterrestrial reality and ET races, starseeds, disclosure, moon, history, all the way to current affairs and space news in and around Toleka. For the first time ever, she also shared interviews with their friend Urma Tiger Arisha. Beside all this, since showing photos of outside Earth is prohibited by space regulations, Mari also shared Minecraft detailed creations and views of the Toleka ship, an endearing gesture of wanting to share as much as she can without breaking the rules, in the attempt to come closer to the humans on Earth. In October 2023, she joined me in her first live Questions from the Audience session, during which she answered about 90 questions from both Spanish and English audience. 2 months later, Athena Svaru also participated in a live online program, during which she answered a similar amount of questions. Epic stuff. As of today, Mari has shared around 200 videos in English and other 200 in Spanish, and has no intention of stopping. But there is more. Direct communication with Toleka crew does not end there. Few months after Mari opened her channel, a Taygetan couple, Zael and Arien of Erra, have also begun their adventure with YouTube and started sharing their videos, mostly empowering message for starseeds coping with difficulty of living on Earth. Zael's talent of psychological analysis and empathy towards humans on Earth proved an amazing addition to the ever-growing collection of Taygetan and Svarunian library of wisdom and stellar knowledge. As of today, Zael and Arien have about 30 videos in English and 30 in Spanish. Both Mari, as well as Zael and Arien, but especially Mari, the future to be queen of Taygeta, have marked a historic era of direct extraterrestrial contact with the Earth inhabitants. And let's only hope it can grow into more. September 2023. As we are drawing to the end of this journey so far, and since I already mentioned all the previous public events, I will close this chronology with the second UFO Congress in Finland, to which I got invited to speak in September 2023. There was no direct online interaction with any Toleka crew member, but it was yet another opportunity to share more information about this most amazing extraterrestrial contact, and have members of our community meet each other in person. Thank you for the invitation. Community. From the beginning of this journey, and despite the so-called anti-communities, which for sure are out there, we are privileged to have been welcomed and accepted by the growing number of the true community of starseeds, like ourselves, who believe in the importance of this historic contact and Mari's and Zael's work. Thank you to all of you for your ongoing support, all who are out there sharing the links, moderating the chats, helping in whatever way you can. Thank you, Claudia, for your ongoing contribution to the videos of Aneka, providing your voice. Same goes for Daniel James, who has been with me for years, offering his voice as Robert. Also Bent, who has provided his voice as Dor Kalel, and few others who also did the same in the past. Thank you, Sirona, for managing the channel LLAMADA DESDE PLANETA TIERRA, and all the forum and group moderators who are voluntarily giving their time to make sure the community's integrity stays intact. This project has grown to stand on its own, with hundreds of people printing the transcripts, saving the videos, discussing the information, and making YouTube videos and channels in various languages to help spread the work. Among some of the more important channels are Agencja Kosmiczna, run by Darek in Poland, who works hard with his team of translators to make those videos available to the Polish audience. He also gives interviews where he spreads the information about our Toleka crew, and his understanding of the material is simply outstanding. Thank you.
System gwiazdy Taygeta. Tam są 4 planety, które są zamieszkiwane: Temer, Erra, Procyon i Dakotę.
We also have a strong French community with several channels presenting our videos, run by Eloise and others by Oliver. German channel run by Rolf, others in Bulgarian, several Romanian ones, Portuguese, Italian, Turkish, and others of which I may not be aware of or forgetting. Thank you all. And thank you to all the translators submitting your PDFs for the website. Believe it or not, there are about translated 1,700 files already up there. I also opened several social media groups, the biggest ones on Telegram, cosmic agency support centers where people can call for assistance in any topic, Taygetan Varunian study groups, and free chat groups in both Spanish and English. Thank you to admins of those groups for maintaining order. Furthermore, there is a forum on our website, open in several languages, where people can exchange further ideas and meet. After all, it's about starseeds coming together and feeling empowered as a collective. Links to the groups below the video in the description. And so here we are today, with twists and turns, and awaiting more for the upcoming 2024 and beyond. What will it bring? What more can we expect to happen? Whatever it is, one thing is certain, and that's that I am grateful for even making it this far, having done my best to share the knowledge given to us freely. We do our best with who we are and what we understand, with little technical skills, no stellar memory, just fueled by love for the cause. All I can say is thank you to all of you down here on the Earth's surface, dear awakened ones, for welcoming this information into your lives, allowing it to expand your reality. And, above all, thank you for the Toleka crew for your continuous presence near Earth, near humans, your families, and your passionate drive to share your truth, boldly and without hesitation. Thank you, Yazhi, Athena, Zael, Arien, and especially Maris Varu, to have enough faith in all of us down here on Earth as to believe that we deserve your stellar knowledge, energy, and care. Of course we do. We are all you, and you are all us. We are star people, and it is time for everyone to realize there is no separation. May the journey continue.